Okay, so then as a company, we need to go figure out the earnings, the total earnings for everybody. So, I mean, here is the hours. Then we're going to calculate what their rate's going to be. Did they have any overtime? And then the next step will go figuring out taxes and such. Okay, so part 2 down here at the bottom, we've got several employees that we need to figure out what their total earnings are going to be, which is basically their gross pay. All right, so we're going to enter regular overtime hours
7.5.
in the schedule.
8.
Overtime is 1.5 times the regular rate. Round the dollar amounts to the nearest cent. Okay, and it is important when we're doing this that we round before we continue to multiply. So just kind of try to think about that, okay? So for 80 hours, employee number 1 worked 80 hours. Their regular rate is $9, okay? So 80 hours, $9 an hour.
$720.
$720. I like it. Okay. Now they worked 5 hours overtime. So they get time and a half. So to get overtime, we're going to take the regular rate times 1.5 equals overtime. Okay? So $9 times 1.5,
13.5.
13. Okay, so we'll just kind of make a little note in here. 13.5 is the overtime rate. So now 5 hours times 13.5, 67.50. Okay, and then add those two together. 787.50. Okay, so remember we're talking dollars and cents, so we need 2 decimal places. Okay, and then you can keep going with the rest of it. 80. This person makes $12.50 an hour. So 12.5 times 80. It's $1,000. They work 3 hours overtime. So $12.50 times 1.5 to get our overtime rate. $18.75 times the 3. $56.25. We'll add those two up. Okay, so we know that's how we calculate our overtime. Regular hours times regular rate is our regular earnings. Overtime times our overtime rate is our overtime earnings. Okay, if you need to do arrows and pluses and minuses and multiplications so you know what you're multiplying, do that. And then, of course, this plus this equals this. Okay, third employee, 70 hours at $9.75. $682.50. No overtime. So that's their total earnings. And then employee 4, Alice Webster, is employee 4. So we know she's got 88 regular hours and 7.5 overtime hours. So we'll fill that in and then calculate it.
How much is that?
7.5.
7.5. And the first one's 88.
88. And that came from right here.
Mm.
Okay, she makes $11 an hour. So $9.68. And then 11 times 1.5. So her overtime is 16.5 times the 7.5. This is 123.75. And then we'll add those two together. 968 1091 75. Pretty simple. Okay, flip over, do that on your own real quick. I'm gonna give you a few minutes, just a few minutes to do that because I want to go ahead and start talking about 12.2.